Abe's series of games has seen a few installments throughout the years, but for me, Apes Odyssey will always be the greatest. It was dirty but gorgeous, unpolished but refined, and filled with dark humor and brilliant ideas. But the main thing is that Apes Odyssey had those diabolical temple runs. Oddworld inhabitant Lorne Lanning was classically trained as a painter of fine art, but came to realize that the mediums most influential on popular opinion were becoming electronic and mass-distributed. He graduated from the California Institute of the Arts with the BFA in character animation and eventually found himself working on feature films, advertisements, station idents, and motion-based attractions at award-winning Hollywood visual effects studio Rhythm and Hues. It was here he met Sherry McKenna, already a successful producer, who he persuaded first to work at Rhythm and Hues, then eventually to co-found a video game company with them. This persuasion took 2 years to accomplish. To Sherry, video games were ugly, confusing, and noisy, but once Lorne had promised they could not only design a graphically beautiful, intuitively controlled game with a captivating and meaningful story, but also get it funded, developed and published, Sherry agreed to the idea. In September of 1994, Oddworld Inhabitants was born. Lorne's original vision was to create a series of 5 video games, the Oddworld Quintology, with each game introducing a new hero who would join the existing band of revolutionaries on their journey to put an end to the exploitation of cultures, people and the natural world by profiteering capitalism. It would culminate with 5 heroes in the consumer metropolis, but it would start with a hapless laborer in a third-world meat factory. Abe was a layperson in every way. In September of 1997, the first game in the series sees the daylight. Oddworld Apes Odyssey is a cinematic platform game developed by Oddworld Inhabitants and published by GT Interactive, released for the PlayStation, DOS and Windows 95. Looking at the box, we have a very simple one, white, letting you know that it is Oddworld Apes Odyssey, and Abe is right in the middle, looking at you. A quick look at the back, we have some back-of-the-box things, like screenshots and letters which form words, letting you know that Oddworlds is doomed, and an enslaved race, the Modocan, working for the Rupture Farms, needs saving. Inside the box, things continue to be simple. A simple manual with simple instructions on how to install and play the game, and a simple CD-ROM with a simple game. And Oddworld's Apes Odyssey starts with some logos, more logos, and the main screen where main options are available.
Hello.
Such as start a new game, look at some options, or quit the game. I do suggest you look at the options menu to learn about the controls, and please check the sound because farts and whistles. After the farts and whistles, it is time to start a new game, and the player is introduced to the game's premise. The main storyline follows Abe, a Modocan worker born into slave labor at the Rupture Farms meat processing plant. When the Gluckans have driven most of the natural wildlife to near extinction, they decide that Modocan meat is the next best way to drive up their profits. Abe overhears their plans and escapes the factory, but then finds out he is destined to save these species from slavery. After completing a set of ancient trials giving him the power of the mythical Shrike, Abe breaks back into Rupture Farms to save his fellow Modocans and shut the factory down once and for all. After the very cool intro cinematic, the game starts, and you die. You try again, and you die. You want to see what happened, and you die. And die, 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 and die. Yep, get ready for a try and error festival. The thing to understand about Apes Odyssey is that it's very choppy, very stop and start. You get tons of safe spaces to figure out a plan, the actual carrying out of that plan to get you through the unsafe spaces takes a handful of seconds, and then you're into the next safe space. But the temple runs don't have that. They're absolutely relentless, you just have to keep going and going until you reach the end, and there are so many moments where it seems like you can just stop for a breath, but it's all a lie. Suddenly pyramids will come down from the ceiling, or scrabs will come fastening out from off-screen and devour you in an instant, and you die. As you may have guessed by now, Apes Odyssey is an odd world indeed, so odd that somehow I got this official strategy guide. I don't remember when and how, but it is here, so I got it. Not that it was much of a help, but well, it is here. The characters of the Oddworld games, mostly voiced by the creative director Lorne Lanning, were generally likable, either you were on their side or not, and Abe's narration made sure you knew what was going on without being excessive. I love the setting of the Oddworld games. It's dark and funny, and scary and weird, all at the same time. There's the traditional style opposition between nature and civilization, the peaceful Mudokons so frequently falling under the Gluckin boot. There are big bad corporations and an accompanying absence of wonderfully grimy technology. There's a complete ecosystem in motion behind the scenes, with enough outlandish creatures to encounter during the game to make you wonder, or perhaps fear, what else is out there that we don't see. The graphics in Oddworld are a thing of beauty. Each background screen is pre-rendered with meticulous care and forethought. The environment really comes to life and makes players feel as if they are truly adventuring in an alien world. Being a platform-style game, there are many objects that can be climbed and traversed. They are all extremely well depicted and illustrated, so there is little chance of the gamer missing an opportunity. Of course, that does exclude the intentional hidden areas that are only discovered through trial and error, or careful examination, or even if you own a official strategy guide. Creatures in this game are very original and just plain odd looking. They are also incredibly well animated. Joint movement and presentation of their body language is remarkably appropriate. Painstaking efforts must have been taken to assure the kind of quality animation that is being done here, folks. The characters really take on a life of their own. As aforementioned, Apes Odyssey is a 2D side-scrolling platformer in which the player takes control of Abe and has to guide him through numerous puzzles. Obstacles come in the form of mines, electric barriers, pits, and patrolling enemies. If Abe comes into contact with any of these obstacles, it means instant death, and he will start over at an earlier checkpoint. The player has an infinite amount of lives, and fortunately, there is no game over. Aside from navigating puzzles and obstacles, a major element in Apes Odyssey is the rescuing of Abe's co-workers. These are enslaved Mudokons that work in the factory just as he did. Abe may talk to his fellow Mudokons and use a series of voice commands to direct them to birth portals, which allow the Mudokons to escape the factory.
Hello. Wait. Hello. Follow me. Okay.
The number of Mudokons Abe saves, or kills, over the course of the game decides the final ending of the game itself. Abe has the ability to possess the slick security guards that patrol the factory by chanting. By doing so, he may use the slick to explore ahead or solve parts of puzzles that would otherwise be unreachable. Abe can only chant if no chant suppressors are nearby, as doing so will electrocute but not kill him. In the later stages of the game, Abe receives the ability to transform into the Shrikole, a powerful demigod that is able to shoot out bursts of lightning and destroys any hostile objects or enemies on the screen. This state can only be used for a few seconds at a time, however, and first has to be powered up by rescuing a certain number of Mudokons at once. Abe's Oddworld utilizes sounds in a very unique manner. You see, Abe has the capabilities to produce specific sounds through the use of game speak. Abe can say words like hello, follow me, and wait. These commands are important as they are used to communicate your intentions to other Mudokons. Asking a Mudokon to follow you but not telling it to wait at a specific time will lead to the untimely death of one of your friends. Other GameSpeak commands include the ability to whistle, laugh, get angry, chant, and to fart. Yes, that's right, at a certain times in the game, you will need to have Abe pass a little wind to accomplish certain goals. Other sounds, as you might expect, are equally well done and match the game's environment wonderfully. Explosions are particularly well done and really manage to deliver a nice punch in the lower registers.
Hello. Hello, follow me. Okay.
Wait!
I don't know.
Wait!
Music plays a very serene role in this game and stays in the background where it should. Again, it matches the environment very well and delivers what it should in this game: mood. Apes Odyssey is something of an anomaly in the gaming world. While the look of the game may seem a step back, the intelligent level design and well thought out puzzles push it 2 steps into the future. While not a platformer in the strictest sense of the word, Apes Odyssey does use many platform elements along with the mandatory puzzles and game speak. Whether taking control of enemies or ushering Mudokons to safety, Abe's adventure was experienced without a traditional HUD. Apes Odyssey is not a fast-paced, action-packed game. It's a thinking man's title that rewards patience more than twitching. It won't appeal to everybody, but it is an important piece of video game history. There was boldness about Oddworld inhabitants' decision, and in its 25th anniversary, there is little reason not to give it a try. And you know what else you should give a try? The other videos I have in this same channel. I have plenty and hopefully you will enjoy it. As long as you are there, click that subscribe button, like button and buttons of that same nature, because your support is always very much appreciated. As always, thank you very much for watching this, and until my next video, please do take care.